Students, welcome back out to our classroom piano lessons on the web. Hopefully some people show up today. I know it is the Super Bowl. I didn't even really think about that ahead of time because I don't watch the Super Bowl. But we are here today, so hopefully we get some students show up. It looks like we do have some, and it looks like the stream is starting. Let me know if you can't see me, can't hear me, so I can adjust accordingly before we begin with the lesson. Okay, it looks like we are good to go. All right, we got Adria here. Anybody else in attendance tonight? It said 7 watching a minute ago. So I know there are more people here than that. We're going to do the lesson regardless of how many people show up. Okay, so how's everybody doing? I'm doing pretty well. Excited to be here back with you again in our classroom. And today I'm going to be teaching you about some common mistakes that I find students make when playing two hands, and it's really tripping them up. We're going to get started here in a minute or so. Let some more people pile in. We got some new people here. Christine Gordon, hello. I believe you're new-ish. I feel like I've seen your name before, but I'm not 100% sure. I apologize if you've been here before. Nick's son, Suniverse 80 says hello, and Jeremy is also here. Got a little bit of allergies going on tonight. I don't know. This is like the first time on camera that I've had allergies since I moved, which means I probably need to vacuum and turn on my air purifier, but I can't turn it on now. It will mess up the recording because it makes noise. Okay, just give me like a minute or so. I'm going to get the live stream for Facebook started, and then we're going to get right into the lesson. We got Greg here back once again also. Great to hear from you, Greg, and Annie. All right, so just give me less than a minute. In the meantime, just say hello in the chat. Would love to hear from you, whether you are a new or returning student. Carol says, wow, I made it off tonight. Perfect. Hi, Tim. Yes, I'm new. All right, great. We got a bunch of new people. Jay Freshman, what's up? What's up, Jay? Okay, Adria says, I'm going to get to this real quick. Very exciting Sunday. My best friend had a baby girl early this morning. Luna Joy Miller. All right, well, that is very exciting. Okay, let me get the Facebook thing started, and then we'll be ready to go. Hello, students. Your piano teacher, Tim, here, back with another exciting lesson in our classroom piano lessons on the web. So if you are a first-time viewer, if you are on Facebook, make sure that you have liked our page. If you're watching on YouTube, make sure that you subscribe and turn on all notifications. That's really important because we have new lessons coming out all the time, and you don't want to miss a beat. Tonight, I'm going to be teaching you about common two-handed mistakes. All right, I'm going to get started here, everybody, and then I'll get to everybody in the chat, say hello. But I'm going to get right on the lesson since that's why you're all here. And then I'll say salutations, which I never say. So I will not be saying salutations. All right, let's see here. Here we go. I'm going to do the intro. There are some common mistakes I find all my students are making, or pretty much all of them, and you're making some of them too, and it's really slowing you down, it's frustrating you. Well, today I'm going to be teaching you about those mistakes and how to get around them. Let me show you mistake number 1. Okay, here we go. Mistake number 1, this really applies to beginners, is that people try to start playing with both hands and they don't have basic musicianship skills. I'm talking about the layout of the piano. I'm talking about reading music. I'm talking about, how to even play on the piano, like in a set position, maybe hands separately. All these really beginning things. Maybe you don't know beginning rhythm. You really need to know and understand these things very, very well before you can move on to playing with both hands. Now, why is that? Well, remember this key. This is the key point of the whole lesson. And it is that when you are first putting hands together, your brain, yes, up here, is going to be concentrating on the coordination between both hands. So like when I'm playing scales here, it really helps to know all the notes in that scale first and be able to play it, hands separately, because when you're putting them together, your brain will be focused, or you should be focusing strictly on the coordination. So make sure you have all the building blocks before you start playing with both hands. All right, let me show you mistake number 2. Mistake number 2 is that students will often jump right into a piece that they've always wanted to play if they're a beginner. Or maybe you've been playing for a while and you just try a piece that's way, way, way above your level. Now, I think it's worth a shot to try a piece above your level just to kind of see what happens. It could be that you have more natural ability than you thought, but for most cases, it's going to frustrate you, especially with the coordination between both hands. Ideally, once you've solved mistake number 1 and you have all your basic skills down, you want to be playing pieces really that, first you want to learn to play pieces maybe hands separate, but then you want to play pieces with simple chords in the left hand, simple melodies in the right hand. Some of these pieces you might want to start with include nursery rhymes, maybe simple Christmas pieces, things like that. Getting a piano lesson book, something like the Alfred's Adult Series, or if you're younger than that, there's a younger Alfred Adult, or Piano Adventures is a good one. I'll try to remember to put some links in the description for you so you can look at those. Those will walk you through pieces in order, which you should learn based on difficulty level. I've even been thinking about making a lesson on this where I'll present some pieces that you can find online in the order that I think you should learn them as a beginner. I'm not sure though. Do you want to see that lesson? Let me know in the comments of this video. If I get enough responses, I'll make that lesson. All right, and then from there, really what I would do is after you start playing some maybe simple pieces like I mentioned, maybe try learning your scales. Scales are great because they involve playing the same note in parallel, just an octave apart, and they involve simple finger crosses. So a lot of the pieces you play in the beginning will be in a set position, but then you'll start to have a lot of pieces that begin to move about, and scales is going to get you, start getting you into that kind of feel of moving up and down the piano. Also good practice on curving your fingers and just practicing the very basic coordination between both hands. Now, one thing I've talked about a lot on the channel is hand exercises. Now, these is where you're playing a pattern, the same pattern between both hands, an octave apart, but it's not a scale. It's like just a pattern that goes up and down. Now, the patterns change for each one, so it works out a different part of your hand. So it starts with scales, then move to Hanon, and then what you want to do is move to Czerny exercises, something like the School of Velocity, where you're playing like chords, and then you're changing chords while playing scales up and down on the piano, kind of combining the different ideas I've talked about so far. So scales, then Hanon, then Czerny, and then you should start to learn, fairly easy pieces from there. All right, let's talk about mistake number 3. This mistake, if you've been following me for a long time, you know what it is. It's that students often play too fast. Now, is this a problem only for beginner students? No. In fact, I find that this is even more of a problem. It's a problem for everybody, but it's even more of a problem for students who are more advanced. Because what will happen is you'll begin learning a piece, and you might start out really slow on it. But especially if it's a piece that you recognize pretty easily, or you learn it from, that happened to be from the Undertale game I keep talking about. But the thing is that the tendency is to start playing faster and faster towards the full speed of what you're used to hearing that. And it's very natural to fall into that. Even if you start slow, you'll notice during your practice being like, oh man, I'm getting faster and faster. And that's why you'll get to a section all of a sudden where all of a sudden you can't play it. It'll just kind of fall apart on you. And so you need to go back. You need to slow it down. Anytime you're having trouble playing piano, getting coordination down, adding in certain things, it just being sluggish and sloppy, the number one thing you should do is slow down. Okay, mistake number 4. Mistake number 4 is moving past and ignoring problem areas in your pieces. So you'll be playing a piece and, it'll be sounding okay at first. And it just falls apart. And so what you'll do, a lot of students will do, is you'll start over from the beginning. And even though it isn't corrected yet, you'll just kind of plow through it anyway. So you made 2 mistakes there, or I made 2 mistakes. One, when you make a mistake in a problem area, what you don't want to do is go back to the beginning. What you want to do is go back to the problem area and work it out. I would look at the sheet music and then, really make sure, really practice just that measure, and then come from the measure before, see if you can play through it then. It's even a problem I still have. I'm getting over it, though. I'm getting a lot better about it, where I'll run into a mistake and I'll just kind of fudge through it. But don't do that. Big mistake. All right, let's get on the mistake number 5. I'm going to check in with the chat really quick just to make sure things are running smoothly. Oh, Rich is here. And lots of other awesome students. Let's see here. Okay, mistake number 5 is the most important mistake I have on this entire list. Are you listening? Now, it's a bunch of mistakes rolled into one, and they all have to do with how you're sitting at the piano. I just noticed my posture was a little bit off. You want to have good posture. You want to have your, I always call them elbows, your shoulders at your side, but not tense, not up like this. As a little kid, I was always like that because I was always anxious. Don't be like me. Have your arms at your side. Have your hands gently on the piano, not tense, but also good posture. Like really, your core should be the one that's straight. You shouldn't have straight fingers. Like the reason teachers tell you to curve your fingers is because if you think about it, if you have your fingers flat like this, then your muscles are actually extending them out like that. It's not a very natural pose, I guess you could say, for your fingers. And actually, if you really bend them, you can bend them to where they start to flip backwards. That's bad. Even flat is bad. So if you right now, put your hand out in front of your piano, like me, stretch your fingers out, like I'm doing, feel the muscles, and then relax all the muscles. See how your hand naturally curves down, and really concentrate on having your muscles relaxed. Now, how far you should bend, I know a lot of early piano books will say to pretend like you're holding an invisible ball. Now, I tell really young students that because it's something they can conceptualize a lot easier. They don't really, they kind of get maybe what I was saying before, but you don't necessarily want to have them in a ball because you could have your fingers engaged or your muscles engaged like that too, almost like you're about to grip something. I don't think that's the right way either. It should be a very relaxed thing, and everybody I notice is a little bit different. I commented on this in the student showcase that we had a week or so ago, where one student looked like they were, curving them too much, but that was just naturally, I believe, how they curve their fingers. So just because your fingers don't look like somebody else's doesn't necessarily mean anything, but you want them nice and relaxed. One thing that's really common as well is when you have a difficult piece of music coming up, you'll tense up. You'll be like, oh no, it's coming. Oh no, it's coming. Oh no, it's coming. And you'll tense up and you'll get all contorted. And that's the worst thing you can possibly do. You want to relax, That's a very natural thing to tense up in tense situations. But you need to keep a clear head, be relaxed, but still maintain a posture. A good posture. What I recommend you do is get a mirror near where you practice and look at yourself as you practice and adjust accordingly. Okay. All right, so there's still more to the lesson. I just wanted to check in with the chat here. In fact, let's do this. What I'm going to do now is I asked you some questions on social media, or on YouTube here, rather, and I'm going to go over a few of them that I got. You guys seem to really like that section of the lesson. I checked. I can see what parts of the lesson you guys dig and which ones you don't, because the audience retention will drop to like nothing. All right, let's see here. Okay, so I asked you about your questions about playing with both hands, mistakes being made with both hands, and some things you were thinking on YouTube here in our community section. So let's take a look at those comments and questions, and I will address those. All right. X-Boy says, you don't have any arms, referring to the thumbnail I posted. And then I said, sure I do. I just broke them off to put them on the piano. Living My Best Life says, I'm looking forward to the lesson. Well, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to heart that because I love that comment. Jib P says, what about the Super Bowl? How to practice piano during the Super Bowl? Well, that's not exactly what I was talking about today. You might just have to watch the Super Bowl and then come back. But you're here right now, or some of you are here right now, so you're in the right place. How to press a white key and a black key simultaneously on each hand to make it sound harmonious. Now, this is an interesting question. It's kind of a loaded question, especially for what we're talking about tonight. But I'm going to talk about some things you're going to want to look into. This is by Winston, by the way. A student I believe has been here for a while. All right, Winston. So, basically, how do I explain this? So, you have chords in your left hand, right? And you can have really anything in your left hand, but let's just make that example. Chords in your left hand. And the chords of the piece are what's called the harmony, right? And when you have a chord progression, that's really a progression of chords moving between each other over and over in a song. Now, when you have a chord going on, say in measure 1, I have a C chord. The chord tones of that chord are C, E, and G. So what that means, basically, if I'm playing a right hand up here, whether I'm playing a melody or I'm playing just chords of my right hand as well, if I pick one of those chord tones, it will sound great every time. However, if I go out of that, it might not sound so good. So, Maybe I play something like that. It really clashes, doesn't it? So what I recommend you first learn about are chord tones, just notes in a chord. And obviously when I'm changing chords, then the chords change, the chord tones change as well. But one thing you also want to learn about are non-chord tones. So the real general thing about non-chord tones I can tell you is that they're temporary notes. The thing is that meaning that you'll have a chord tone before it, you'll have a non-chord tone, and then another chord tone, or something in between. See how that sounded kind of good? As I hit a chord tone, non-chord tone, chord tone. Sorry about that, got allergies going on, but... So that's what I recommend you look into. I could really go into it, but that would be a whole different lesson on itself. That's more of a theory kind of question. So look up non-chord tones, read about it, and go from there. All right. Carmina says dynamics, like playing forte with the right hand and piano or pianissimo with the left hand. Great. So this is very relevant to what we're talking about right now. Now, let's take a look here. Dynamics, right? So playing forte, say in your right hand, while playing something less in your left hand, which you're naturally going to kind of want to do anyway when you have something with melody up top and then harmony on the bottom. So one practice exercise I want you to do is start playing your scales and just go slow on your scales and try to see if you can create that balance or overbalance, I guess, of playing the right hand and left hand first. So here's what they sound, or right hand louder. So here's what they sound like, the exact same volume. Now here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to play the right hand at forte, left hand at piano. Now, if I can't do it, right, I start playing them both equally as loud. What should I do? Slow down, of course. And then do that with all your scales. And then switch it. Try to play piano with your right hand and forte with your left hand. Man, it's an adjustment. But I got it already. Just like that. And then, just keep practicing it that way. And then in your pieces, really go nice and slow. Really try to bring out the melodies, and then really try, maybe even go measure by measure to see if you can, make one hand louder than the other, depending on what you need in that piece. So that's what I suggest you do as a little practice for that. Enrique says, sometimes I struggle when I'm playing eighth notes on left and quarter notes on right. Weird, right? All right, well, I have a similar solution for you, back to scales, where what I want you to do is I want you to play a C scale between both hands, and I want you to start out with eighth notes in the right hand while playing quarter notes in the left hand. So what that means is for every left hand quarter note, you're going to play 2 right hand notes like this. Like that. And then you want to switch it. So for every right hand quarter note, I'm going to be playing 2 left hand eighth notes. Oops. So only 1 octave. And if you do it right, ideally you should land in the same spot. So that should help you develop some very basic eighth note versus quarter note. And then the other thing to get better at it is to just do it more often. Find pieces that have the eighth notes in one hand, quarter notes in another. And then actually, if you follow a lot of what I said tonight, that should help resolve your issue, because it sounds like to me that you're pretty new at playing with both hands. And that's a very common common problem to have when you're new at it. So just keep working at it. You'll get there and do everything I said. Okay. It's not that weird. Not weird at all, Enrique. Okay, Mr. Drakenator says this might not make any sense, but playing with both hands properly, by this I mean not improperly using one hand in the sense of not crossing fingers over each other to play the notes when you're trying to play with both hands. What? This might not make any sense. I love how you prefaced it like that. But playing with both hands properly, by this means not improper. Okay. Starting it here. Improperly using one hand in the sense of not crossing fingers over each other to play the notes when you're trying to play with both hands. If I got the question right, I believe that I think you're talking about like when you're playing with both hands and you're not doing the finger crossings right. If that's what you're asking, scales is the way to go, and go slow on your scales, because scales really develops that basic finger crosses. What you could also be talking about is hand crosses, where you have something like things like that, in which case maybe you should just play chords between both hands. Play a chord down here, block chord, and play an arpeggio in your right hand. Go up to the C, or you're actually going to be playing another chord up an octave here, but just one note at a time, crossing, so like this. And then you're going up the next note in the chord. Like that, and then change the chord. Oops, I'm going too fast. Number one mistake in all music, and I'm doing it. Okay, and then Rich says, great photo. Thank you very much, Rich. Appreciate it very much. Okay, let's take a look at what we got here. Oh, yeah. Okay, if you like this lesson, you found it helpful, make sure to smash that like button, because it lets other people know this is a quality lesson they can learn from as well. Dante said, fantastic, I really need this stream. All right. Yeah, passing notes are a type of non-chord tone, meaning they pass between chord tones. Hey, Barbara's here. Hello. Hello, Dante. Hey, Carol Etchoff, I think I said hello to you already. Baby will come in cold weather and full moons. I know both my girls were born in snowstorm and full moon. All right. But what about the babies that aren't born that are born like in the summer and like a waxing crescent moon? No, I'm just kidding with you. Okay, we got Carol says, I play fast and I slow down and speed up again. Always have belly button at the middle C of the keyboard. You know, my belly button is actually like where E is. Isn't that weird? Is that normal? See, I feel like that's where my hand like naturally sits. I don't know, maybe I'm weird. I don't think there's anything wrong with what you're doing though. Yeah, Adria says, I know I'm guilty of slow it down, get it right, but then I speed up and make mistakes. Yep. And I do things fast by nature. Very true. Me too. Hey, Shalish, how you doing? New student here. Glad to have you with us. I definitely have a tendency to play too fast as Greg. Oh, let's get the chat in here. What am I doing? I have a tendency to play too fast. Sometimes when I do, my fingers slide off the black keys. I hate when that happens. I agree. But you reminded me of a comment I got recently, and I probably shouldn't make fun of this person. I don't know whether they were trolling or like this day and age. I don't know whether people are trolling or they're being dead serious. Let me tell you a story, right? Take your mind back to 5 days ago, if you can. If you can imagine what life was like then. And I was scrolling through the comments. I found this comment on a video I did about chords. And what I said in that video was that I was like maybe talking about C major, right? And I was like, all right, well, C major has all 3 white keys. It sounds bright and happy. To make a C minor chord, you bring the middle white key, the 3rd, down to a black key. You flat it to E flat. You know, literally what's happening in there. And I got this comment that said this. It said, could you please not use the word black with a negative term like sad and sorrow? But that's like, literally, I was moving from a white key to a black key to make it minor, to make it sad. So I don't know whether they were like, I think they were messing with me. But this day and age, I wouldn't be surprised if they weren't being serious. It's like I'm literally describing what's happening on the piano. It's not about race. It's not about like anything else. It's literally what's happening. You know what I could have done too is I could have said, okay, you have an F sharp major chord. Let's do this example. All 3 black keys. Sounds marvelous. Sounds happy. Sounds great. Sounds, everything. Oh, you know what? To make this an F sharp minor chord, I'm going to move this F sharp down to a white key to be, or an A sharp down to a regular A, which happens to be a white key. Now it sounds minor and sad. So now I said white was sad. So I don't know. I just thought it was really funny. All right. Hi, Ramona says, hi, 36 watching. Love your teaching. Thank you very much, Ramona. Magese 420. Oh, love your videos. I'm actually catching on quick. All right, glad to hear it. So glad to hear that my lessons are helping you. Mama says, if you want to play fast, slow down. That's true. That's a weird thing to say, but so true. So true. Barbara says, I'm slow by nature, but I hate slow music. Let's see here. Rich Bryan says, when is the next student showcase? It is at the end of the month. I'll show you right now. It's a good thing to bring up. Okay. It is on February 24th. So all submissions that I get before the 24th will be in the showcase. If you happen to submit after the 24th, it will be pushed back to the end of March. So the student showcase, if you're new here, student showcase works like this. The student showcase is how to put this? Okay, so throughout a month, I collect recordings from students here in the live stream or on the channel. And you too can submit your recording to me either through email, tim@lessonsontheweb.com is good, or like send it to me through Facebook Messenger, send me a link somehow, and then I'll write it down. And then what I'll do is the last live stream of the month will be the student showcase, where I'll play through all of the recordings I got of you playing, and I will critique them. Now, I'll be nice. I'll tell you what I like about it, but it's basically like if you got a one-on-one lesson from me. I'm actually going to be giving students the feedback live. I feel like I'm butchering this. Live here on the live stream, and that's called the Student Showcase. So that's what it is. And if you submit a video of your playing to me before the showcase date, then it will be included in that showcase. If you submit it to me after that date, it'll still be included in the student showcase. It'll just be on the next month. So there's never like any due date, like, oh, they have to be in by this, because if you get them to me, they'll be in the student showcase eventually. But that's how it works. Try to oh wait, here are the rules. I don't know why I'm having such a bad time talking about this, like getting it out. Here are the rules. 1 submission per student per month, meaning that you can submit one, playthrough of one piece of you playing once per month. So you can submit a submission in, February, then you can submit another submission in March, submit another submission in April. But what you can't do is you can't submit 5 submissions in March, 6 in April. I'm only going to review one of them, and try to only keep it one piece per submission. Try to keep the playing time down to, 5 minutes is probably the target, what you want to go for. Obviously, if you're learning something really easy and it's shorter than that, totally cool. If you're learning something really large scale like a sonata, try to boil it down to like maybe just a movement in that sonata, because that'll take about 5 minutes. Now, what if you're recording a 6, 7, 8, 9 minutes? That's fine. I'll still review it. I think getting to that goal of 5 minutes is ideal. All right. I don't know why. Just trying to find the words. I can usually explain it so well, but sometimes it's like, what is going on with me? YOLO says, subscribe to PewDiePie. T-Series is getting closer and closer to winning. Also, nice lesson. Yes, everybody subscribe to PewDiePie. Which actually, if you're watching the Super Bowl, you probably saw that already near the field goal. I think the Rams field goal. All right, Adria says it's kind of like a recital and a critique. Yeah, you know what? That's a way to put it, Adria. So it's like a recital, but at the end or after each playthrough or each student performs, I just kind of give some critiques on it. Perfect way to describe it. All right, Tim. Does one touch keys before playing piano notes, or does one hover over them? That's a good question. I don't know. It's like sometimes, it was funny is that sometimes I get a question, and I'll be like, I've never, ever thought about that before. I think I tend actually touch them, but I've professional pianists are always like doing this kind of stuff, but I honestly, like for the first note of the piece where there's like an attack, like a little bit of an accent, I honestly think that maybe you should hover over and then drop in. But while I'm doing this, my left hand is actually touching the keys. So the answer is depending on your preference and depending on the situation. Jib P says, I'm here now. Super Bowl and piano practice is hard. Yeah, I said earlier that maybe you should wait. Well, you're here now, so I can't complain about that. But maybe you should, do the Super Bowl first and then play piano. Or what I do, I'm doing this technique right now. It's a really high-level technique. It's called not watching the Super Bowl. But I know a lot of people don't do that. They have to watch it. Hover equals better dynamics. Well, what it does for me is if I'm touching the keys and say I press this first E in for release, I don't get as much of an attack on it. If I'm hovering and then I let my arm fall on it, I just get a tiny bit more sound. Whoops. And a tiny bit more of an accent on it. But Rich Submit me a recording for the student showcase if you desire. Just kind of looking through. Hey, Harmony says, nice to meet you. Just subbed today to your channel. Thank you so much, Harmony. I appreciate that very much. All right, any questions about what we talked about tonight? If not, I am going to do this. There's still more. Okay, so if you don't know, I have a website, pianolessonsontheweb.com. First of all, if you go to the homepage, I have courses designed to help you learn a lot more about piano and music. And if you're a fan of mine, you're digging the lessons here on YouTube, on Facebook, wherever I'm putting them out. You like my content, you're going to love these courses because not only do they have instructional videos like you find on the YouTube channel, but they will also include notes that accompany those videos along with worksheets, sheet music, and assignments. These are actually full, fleshed out courses designed to give you a really, really solid grasp on each topic. And they're great for beginners. Like if you're brand new and you're just finding out about me, then they're great for that because I do have courses from the very beginning. But also if you have some experience already and you're looking to advance those skills that you have, then these courses are also great for that. So you can go ahead and look through here if you wish. The last thing I'm going to tell you about this is that you can either purchase courses individually or in a course pack. So just let you know, you can save some money there. Also, like if you're just starting out, you'll probably just want to pick up the course pack, since it has Introduction to Piano Music, Learn to Read Music, Playing the Piano Level 1, and Music Theory Level 1. I think these 4 are really a core that every student needs to know to build on. So just letting you know about that. All right, what I really went here for is the community tab, which is really for live stream students here. And if you want to attend on a regular basis, what I highly recommend you do is check out, get an email reminder 30 minutes before we meet. Fill out this form, and you'll get an email reminder 30 minutes before we meet. If you scroll down even further, there's a calendar of what we're talking about and when. So next Friday, we're going to do DS/DC Alfine and Al Coda. I got this suggestion quite a while ago on stream of a student that was confused. These are kind of like repeats, but not really. And then the following Friday, I don't know if I'm going to fit in a lesson next Sunday. I might just take off. The following Friday is 5 simple piano exercises for two-handed playing. So we're really going to get into the nitty-gritty of the two-handed stuff next time, where I'm going to be giving you some exercises. I'm going to try to pick some that I haven't talked about on the piano before. And then the Sunday after is how to balance volume between both hands. And then you got why you should learn the soundtrack to Undertale, which I won't shut up about. Maybe I will after I do that lesson. And then you have the student showcase after that on the 24th. Oh, is Barbara sick? Barbara says, I have not practiced for a month due to health problems. Ooh, yeah, I do. I definitely hope you feel better, Barbara. Sorry to hear that you are having health problems, but hopefully they turn around for you. But thank you for coming to the live stream. I appreciate it. Tim, when are you getting that new cat? My allergies are annoying me very much, but I'm going to answer this question. When am I getting the new cat? I don't know. Just not feeling it yet. Like when I'm ready. I've thought about it, but I don't know. When he's not too busy, I guess. Well, that is true. I am very busy. But I don't know. Maybe in the next year. Maybe. I don't know. I do things based on how I feel a lot. Like, if it feels right. I feel like I just lost my cat the other day still. Weird. Like, it's weird because it was a while ago now. It was like a year and a half ago. Almost. Let's see. Cameron says, play a piece like Claire de Lune for us. Well, let me practice it first. I can't just bust out Claire de Lune. I mean, that's a good piece, for sure. But I haven't played it in a long time. So, no, sorry. I do plan on playing for you guys as this year unfolds or more often, because I have been practicing. And at least an hour every day. I'm actually starting to get past that hour point, because what I'll do is I'll practice like 45 minutes in the morning, 45 minutes later. So I'm getting better and better. So I will play more for you guys as I feel more practiced. Sorry, guys. I don't know what has me going here, but it was ever since I got home from my dad's house. But anyway, not tonight. Music theory intro sounds interesting. Oh, you need an intro into music theory? Because I do have a lesson on that. Now, it's kind of old. I think I could do another intro to music theory again. Actually, you know what? I made one not too long ago. Let me get you an intro to music theory. Here we go. I mean, I can play something for you right now, but it's not going to be Claire de Lune. That one's even a little bit out of practice. I've actually been practicing a bunch of new stuff. All right, Carol, I just saw it says, I practice for 3 hours a day on weekends, is twice a day for 4s. Being a church pianist is a lot to practice. I agree. I work 40 to 60 hours a week. Wow. I'm impressed. So you work 40 to 60 hours as a church pianist. So that's pretty impressive. That's a pretty good practice regimen. I can't do that anymore. Honestly, making the lessons, everything that goes in it, I don't have time to practice that much. I really don't. I really wish I could, but I really can't. Let's see here. Jeremy, $5 super chat. Thank you so much, Jeremy. Really, really appreciate that. Tim is awesome. Well, thank you so much. True statements. True statements. Okay. Let's take a look here. I can listen and watch you playing for hours. So beautiful. Your channel is a huge inspiration, says Annie. Thank you so much, Annie. I appreciate that very much. Sounds awesome, Tim. Love it. And then when I do the Undertale video, I've actually mostly been practicing stuff from that, but it's really helped me get my hands looser and like really feel accustomed to playing on the piano again. Because I really wasn't practicing for a while. I had a lot of things in life, and I'm not just going to keep going over and over. You guys, a lot of you guys know by now. And Ramona says, your lessons are much more important than the Super Bowl. Thank you. I appreciate that. Smash a like if you agree. All right, guys. I think I might end it here. Wait a second. Rich says, would love if you could break down how to count Clair de Lune. So maybe I should practice that one, or at least maybe the beginning, and play that for you at another time. Yeah, that one's a 9/8 or something. But that's a good suggestion. I like that. I'm getting tired too. I better not be getting sick. I'm gonna be mad. Carol Etchoff, all thumbs up and hearts. Thank you very much. Tim, play Yesterday if you could. Well, I can't because yesterday is a day of the week and it's not a piano piece. Oh wait, you're probably talking about some sort of piano piece. I don't even know what that is. All right, everybody. Time to watch from the beginning, LOL. Oh, let me do this. Let me do an outro for when I piece the video together, and then I think we're gonna end just a tiny bit early today. Feel a little bit tired, probably why I can't think so well right now. But all right, let me do this though. I need to do a nice outro. So hold on. You need training on your. You need training playing with both hands, and this playlist is going to help you do just that. And make sure to subscribe, turn on all the notifications, because we have new lessons coming out all the time, and you don't want to miss a beat. See you later. May says, great advice. Thanks for the show. You're very welcome, Harmony. Thank you very much, Manny. I appreciate that. By the way, Tim, there was a question by Fanny earlier in the stream. Okay. Beginning of the stream, don't know if it was ever answered. Probably not. Because I don't remember that at all. Let me see. Apologize to Fanny. Hello to everybody. Oh, I got a question. Tim, on Friday's lesson on rhythm counting, how do we count triplets on the left hand, and say quarters on the right hand? Okay, so what I would do really quick, what is it? Triplets on the left hand. Okay, and then what? Quarters on the right hand. What I would do, say you're in 4/4 time, and I would honestly do this. 1 triplet, 2 triplet, 3 triplet, 4 triplet. So triplet should be counted by the number of the beat you're on plus triplet. 1 triplet, 2 triplet, 3 triplet, 4 triplet. And then switching it around, it's 1 triplet, 2 triplet, 3 triplet, 4 triplet. So start out with that. And then eighth notes, I would count, say I have triplet in my right hand, eighth notes in your left hand. 1 triplet, 2 triplet, 3 triplet, 4 triplet, 4 triplet. Because you're really going to be hitting them together, the eighth note and the triplet. And then you're going to have the second triplet note and then your second eighth note. So like I like to do is go 1 tri, just like you would if you were 1 triplet. But I put like a little after the tri. 1 triplet, 2 triplet, 3 triplet, 4 triplet. Kind of like that. I like the chair in the back with the lyre. Thank you very much. That was my mom's chair. Well, I don't know if you call it my mom's chair, but it came from my mom's and dad's house. And I forget where it might have been. Came from my grandmother's house, but she told me I could have it. I told her I wanted it. So thank you very much. What is that rolled cloth on top of the shelf? Oh, good question. This is an umbrella. that was sent to me by Eileen, who hasn't been here in a while. I'll just check up, see how she's doing. But yeah, it's an umbrella. So, but it's music. So I just kind of put that back there as a thank you to her, that I really appreciate it. Just letting you guys know that. But it was really cool that she sent it to me. I really appreciate that. Wow, Tim, that's nice. I agree. All right, everybody. Have a great night. I knew it was an umbrella. Yeah, I'll see you on Friday. I don't know. I have such trouble thinking right now. I don't know what's happening to me. Kind of weird. But anyway, I'm going to let you guys go. Thank you for coming out to tonight's live stream. Really appreciate you being a part of our community. Make sure you're subscribed. Turn on all notifications. It's your teacher, Tim, here. Thanks for coming, and I'll see you in the next lesson. Is your cap available on your site? No, unfortunately not. Unfortunately, I bought this on Amazon, and I don't want to steal the... Although this came from China. China's interesting when it comes to copyright kind of things. But, yeah, this thing right here, I bought this hat from China. But what I kind of think I might do is I need to find a manufacturer that'll make a hat like this, because I really like how the bill, Barbara brought this up last time, how the bill is black and in between the bill is white. I like that. I think it shows up well on camera, kind of brings focus to the most important part of the lesson, me. No, I'm just kidding. But no, I like that. So I like the style of the hat. I would like to put maybe my own logo on it. So the answer is no, but I'm thinking about getting it over there. All right, thanks everybody for coming. I'll see you in the next lesson.